All right, what is up, YouTube? It's Mr. Zuni back out with another video. And as you see from the title, how to find the next 100x or the next big booming project. I think it comes down to a couple of things. First, I think you have to find a project with good founders that are going to actually have a business model or model that they're going to try to do. And actually, HBAR is going to be my project that I'm kind of going to run through because there's some big factors in here. So when we look at blockchains or cryptocurrency in general, we want to make sure that it, number one, fits in with the I think with the SEC, honestly, because I think the SEC, like we've seen with Richard Hart, we've seen with other cryptocurrencies, YouTubers or whatever that are getting sued and all this crazy stuff. It's because the FCC or the government, let's just say the government doesn't like it. Whether it's just they're not compliant, they might be a Ponzi. Who knows exactly what it is? But I think the biggest thing that it's going for Hedera, and not only just Hedera, but also the other ISO companies that you look for. There's even a for dummies here. But basically, what these cryptocurrencies are, they already said they got the green light from the FCC and the government. They're like, we're good. And I think, like I said, I think adoption, that has to be a big part of it. And as you can see, the partnerships, Google is probably like the biggest one I'm thinking about. Like, Google is their partner. Google is like one of the biggest companies in the world. IBM was a big, I guess it's not its predecessor. Well, I guess its predecessor. Google was its predecessor. IBM was a thing. It was like the big corporation. It's crazy now. You're starting to see Google and a lot of different big companies working with Hedera and other currencies, like that is just, it's just crazy that these big institutions of money are getting into Hedera. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if BlackRock was like a undisclosed founder or I don't know, a supplier or investor in his. Even, yeah, Boeing Airlines. I mean, this is gonna be, I think it's gonna be, like I said, the 2.0 of smart contracts and done smarter, faster, carbon negative is gonna, that goes green. Everything is gonna be great. And I think, like I said before, the Hedera hash, you gotta go look into it. It's not gonna be a crazy video, but like, I believe it's secure. The security is there, and the only thing it needs is adoption, which is great for right now because we don't really need adoption in the bear market because we have the bear market. So it's just we need the reset. We're basically going to reset in the crypto market, in the stock market, in the housing market, and I think this is where you can find these gems. Now, not only is it basically they have the green light from the government, you gotta look at what they're actually doing. So you gotta look at the ins and outs of the project, and basically what it's trying to do is have projects built on top of it. It's its own blockchain, right? So it's a layer one, and what it's trying to do is facilitate what Ethereum and Bitcoin, well, not Bitcoin, but Binance Smart Chain, what they're trying to do. So Bitcoin was the big boy, but it didn't have any use case. No one could build on it. It was slow. It was horrible. It was gas fees. And Ethereum came along, and now they have, well, the gas fees are still high, but it's faster and it is more secure. And now that we have more technology and more companies getting into crypto, we have something like Hedera and Cardano, and they're faster, cheaper. Solana even, but what Solana's issue is it's always going down, and even though it's a beta, that could be an issue with security. Who knows? But it is faster and it's cheaper fees, so you get kind of the two out of three. And for me, when you're looking at these cryptocurrencies, you have to look at them and see what's going on with them. So as you can see, like let's talk about Ethereum. You have like almost 600 protocols that are built on top of it. Binance, you have almost 500 protocols built on top of it. And you go down the list, Polygon, Matic here, you have Disney that is getting into this cryptocurrency. And I believe Google too, if you don't get me wrong, or another big company is then getting in with, along with Disney. But you just have a lot of just different things, like a Phantom. Phantom is not really doing too well, but they have so much stuff built on top of it. And I think what I'm talking about is the adoption. So now if we go to HBAR or Hedera, oops. If we go to Hedera right here, we can see there's not too much stuff built on top of it. So it feels like we're getting in early. There's not too much hype around it. But look at this. We have 82 million in, staking liquidity. We have another 20 million in their DEX, which is not their DEX, but a DEX. And on SaucerSwap, I think SaucerSwap, this is where you kind of go down the rabbit hole. Now, this is not financial advice or anything, but this is what I'm looking at, what I've been doing. So if you go through their decks and see what's been on top of it, that's not too much, right? And we look at the price chart. If you go, I like using CoinGecko because it's super duper easy to kind of see what we're at. So we're up 5x right now. We're up 5x. All time low was 3 years ago in 2020. And if you would have bought in there, you probably made a good decent amount of money all in through here. But look at all in through here. You were stacking. We had COVID, everything crazy happening. The markets were crazy. The whole COVID year was a shot. Like if you think about it, we had it early in the year in March, and the whole year was a bust. So now, if we think about it here, we're having a lot of war for sure. This whole year is a bust, and now we're going into next year. That could have been 2020, 2019, early or late 2019, and now we're going into the 2020s, late 2020, 2021s. And now we're starting having to look for more projects and looking at projects that we think that are going to survive, and not only survive but thrive. We're having partnerships. Obviously, we saw the partnerships, and now we're having Dex is building on top of it, like Sausage Swap. I think this is a really cool Dex. I think what it's bringing DeFi and the main cryptocurrencies that are going to stay around for a while, like Hedera. I think Hedera is going to be a big player in the game. Like I said, along with the ISO tokens that are here to stay because they already been backed by the government, and we have banks jumping into these and other companies participating in it. I think something like this, where you can earn on top of the H bar, you can buy a token like Sausage Swap. Sausage Swap could be like the uni of Ethereum, where if you look at uni token, that thing was given out for free because people were participating in their decks at the time. And if we look at it, all time low was $1. I think it was actually lower than that. I want to say it was a little bit lower than that. But let's just say it was exactly $1. I mean, you made a 41x, 42x, 44x right here, all time high. In a year, maybe not even. But it's crazy. If you think about Ethereum was popping off at this time. I mean, obviously Ethereum back in 2020 was still around, I think, about $800, $700. But if you would have bought it in 2019, you were able to get it super cheap. But you also, if you missed Ethereum, you had this uni deck that you would get a 41x on it within less than a year or so. And then obviously Uniswap, they had its liquidity pools, and you're earning fees on it, or you were staking it, whatever you were doing on it. And I kind of see the same with Hedera and Sausage Swap. Like we said, Sausage Swap is the biggest DEX on here. It has the most liquidity. I mean, you can take some gamble shots and throw some money at these bad boys, but you don't know what's going to happen. Or you can take the kind of the guarantee Uniswap here, and kind of not guarantee, but they have a lot of money in it. And I think what's interesting about Hedera is that they're pretty selective on who can build on their platform. Now, I think that's good and bad, but I think that's good because we have the time to actually filter through these projects. So I think it's good in the long run. Short term, it probably wouldn't be good, but since we're in a bear market, I don't think it matters at this point. But yeah, you have a Uniswap token here that's not even worth, it's worth 2 cents. And Hedera is worth 6 cents. And you have it at all-time lows. If you look at these, if you look at the Sauce token, it's pretty much new. We're up 60%. That's a couple of years in the stock market, in about a month or two. Let's just say it was early this year or something, even in that. But they said it's made in September 26th. But let's just say it was in the summer. Say almost 6 months or so. But that's crazy that you were able to get that kind of a return. But we're in a bear market, and this cryptocurrency tokens are pretty new. Hedera was made in 2020. It had a little bit of a peak, and now it's dropped back down. But these are the things that you can look for, and not just Hedera, it's other cryptocurrencies. Maybe you could find Cardano, new things to build on Cardano, because I know Cardano gets a lot of hate, but it's a token that's still around, and it's going to be around. All the DeFi projects are falling left and right. And that's why I kind of made my last video, a couple of videos back. I was kind of getting out of everything and taking profits, or just refinancing what I'm going to do. Selling a loss, I think, is not that bad either, if you're going to put it in a project that's going to 100x, 200x or more, because you're not only earning the Hedera token, you're putting it into the DEX is getting Sausage Swap. and you're going over to the farm and you're farming these bad boys, and it's not to high APY, but you're still earning on top of it. I mean, we've seen Hex do the same thing, where you're earning like a 10%, 30%, or max was like a 40 some percent annual yield on your token, and it went up to 1 million. I mean, 100,000 or however much it went up, and that was like one of the best best performing altcoins, and probably cryptocurrencies next to Bitcoin that went up 1 million. So you have to think about these things. Like, you don't know what you can get into if you start looking or researching. And I'm not saying to get into Hedera, but I'm thinking, look, these are some of the things that we're going to going into. We're trying to get into, we want to get adopted, basically. I mean, it's a debate, but more not centralized, but you want the FCC or SEC or the government to get involved. We want big banks to get involved. Well, big banks aren't going to get involved until they know their money's safe. Like, that's just any case point, period. It's just it. So maybe we have a good opportunity with these. And I'm not just talking about this. I'm talking about XLM, talking about Ripple. I'm talking about Quant. This Saucer Swap has Quant. You can pair. It's a Quant pair. And this is what I'm currently doing at the moment. You have a Quant H-bar pair, and you're earning almost 40% yield on this bad boy. So it's things like this you got to look for. You got to have your mind and eyes open, and don't be so down that you messed up or you're down on your money. There's pumps and dumps. That's going to happen. You got to get used to it. Get prepared if you're in those DeFi projects. It is what it is. I think I've said in all my videos, this is probably not going to last. This is probably not going to last. And I was so surprised when some of them did last for a couple months there, like Seifu or Sphere didn't last too much at all, but it sure did pump a lot. And you have like Drip that's kind of slowly dying or whatever it's doing, and we're going through a dying phase of DeFi. Who knows what's going to happen? They may not ever be around, but if you look at projects in the top 100, you see Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, XRP, even XRP, Dogecoin, honestly, Cardano, but I think Cardano is going to be the next one too. I think a lot of DEXs, they're going to start building on top of this bad boy, that they haven't, because they had a big issue and they had, they were slow, whatever was going on with them. I'm not going to get into it, but this is what I'm trying to say. Long story short, I think this is the way you can look for these projects. You can look for the actual project itself, look for DEXs, you look for cryptocurrencies that you think would do well on top of that ecosystem. So they could be layer 2s, or they could just be cryptocurrencies that are just providing use cases on all the blockchains or something. So this is my take, and I hope you guys liked the video. Rate, comment, subscribe, but leave in the comment section below what cryptocurrencies are we looking at? Like, what are you guys looking at? What do you think are going to be prepared for the long run? Obviously, Bitcoin and Ethereum will probably last for the next like 5 years or so, give or take. May not be as high as they are now, but I think they'll still be around. But like with DeFi projects, you don't know if they're going to be around. So that is my take. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.